Hi, this is Michael Uslan. You're watching Batman on film.
I have given a name to my pain. The Batman.
Always waiting for some Batman to save you.
It's simple. We kill.
The Bat of Gotham. I'm Batman.
Hey now, welcome to episode number 5 of the Batman on Film Social Hour. I am the host and founder of Batman on Film, Bill Jet Ramey. And with me today, Pete Vera returns. Pete, how are you?
Hey, I thought this was Good Morning Straight Outta Gotham. Did we get our shows mixed up? I'm confused.
You're a little foggy. Well, speaking of Straight Outta Gotham, also joining us today is Eric Holzman. Hey, Eric, how are you, sir?
Hey, Bill. It's been a while, man. How are you?
I'm good.
Happy New Year to you.
To you too. To you too and everybody. We finally got 2020 over with. Now we're in 21 and hey, the Batman's coming next year.
Yes.
You know, we can say that now. And
Yes.
So I've been obnoxious with that a little bit. So let's just get right to it. So yesterday, was it yesterday or did it kind of, I don't know, when yesterday was kind of when the dam broke, right? As far as a lot of outlets picking up the news. So, all right, look, we know that Michael Keaton is going to be in the Flash movie, reprising his role as Batman, Bruce Wayne, an older version. Obviously, Michael is almost 70, if he's not 70 already. I know he's right there. And that news broke in June, on June 22nd of this last year. And I had heard it before, and I hinted with it a little bit on Twitter and posted some Michael Keaton as Batman pictures and had heard about it. And then it, came out. And then at the Fandom, that was in August, right, guys?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. When they did the Flash panel for the Flash movie, the concept art they showed of the Flash included Michael Keaton in the '89 bat suit, right? Okay,
Good.
So we knew that, and then I had even in my look back, I went back to my original report and looked, and I had heard also that he wasn't coming back for a cameo. He wasn't coming back for just some one-off thing. If he was going to sign on, Warner Brothers wanted him for like three pictures, and they were going to spin it off into like a kind of a riff on Batman Beyond, The Dark Knight Returns. I guess a little bit. It could be he'll have a successor. It could be a girl. Could be a guy. Could be Batgirl. I don't know. Carrie Kelly Robin. I don't know. I'm not sure. And so I'm not the only one who said that over these months. Other legit outlets have picked it up because it's out there. It's out there. So
It was in THR at one point. So other credible sources.
Absolutely. So yesterday, on January 1st, guys, Nestor Bentoncourt. I'm probably butchering his name. I apologize to him.
I do that all the time.
He's at Nestor Cine on Twitter, and he's an online Spanish-speaking pundit out of Los Angeles, and movie pundit. And he tweets to the article, or the author of the New York Times article, Brooks Barnes. That was the Walter Hamada interview that me and Pete talked about last week, right, Pete? That's what we were. Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
I don't
So
remember
I mean,
anymore.
it's the days are, So He says, based on your Mata piece, some have interpreted that Warner Brothers is doing 2 franchises starring Batman, one with Pattinson, one with a new actor. Is that correct? Or were you referring to Keaton as a second Batman being part of a non-centric Batman saga? Thank you. And Brooks Barnes writes back, Keaton. So the floodgates opened. About every fan outlet out there reported, including Batman on Film, that Michael Keaton was going to be the quote-unquote DCEU Batman after the events of The Flash, which we've already heard that before, but it was just kind of more clarification. Maybe he heard it from Hamada. And then, to be fair, Mr. Barnes tweets, has been offline moving apartments and returned to see this Michael Keaton craziness. I was referring to one film that Keaton has been announced as being in, not a set of his own Batman films. If I had info on him beyond The Flash, I would have obviously put that in my article. So, thoughts of all of that? Eric, go ahead and lead us, get us going here.
Well, I thought it was funny when I first saw the tweets and the comments and everyone running with it. First, I'm like, well, this isn't really new news, right? Like, we've heard this already.
Correct.
So I thought it was funny. And then I thought the whole back part of it, where everyone was like, okay, well, what does this mean now going forward? Is it the one movie? Is he going to be in multiple films? When all those questions started to come, I was sitting there like, all right, we have this news we already had. And now people are trying to just formulate where they're going with it, where they're taking it. Are we going to get another movie now with Michael Keaton as Batman in this version of the DCEU? Because they also referenced the Pattinson thing being on Earth 2, being the different, the different universe. So I loved the news when we first heard it, so my opinion hasn't changed on that. Like, I'm still happy he's coming back, and I think it's going to be a good way to have Batman in that universe where it's not totally conflicting with what Reeves is doing.
Yes.
The younger Batman.
Yes,
So you
absolutely.
have, it's 2 distinct different versions.
Yeah.
And I love that part of it. Of course, this opened up some Affleck stuff as well. I guess we'll talk about that.
We'll get to that, yeah.
But I'm glad now we have a little bit. It's just clarified now, right? Like, we know exactly what Keaton's role is, and this is what he's going to be. So from that perspective, I'm glad now. There's no more speculation with regards to that.
Okay, Pete.
Yeah, this just jives with everything that we've been told over the past couple months. Keaton's back. He's going to be in Flashpoint. Affleck wants to segue out in a cool way. So and we know Warner Brothers has been trying to make Batman Beyond for almost like a decade now. So it just makes sense, and it just kind of further clarifies everything we already know. And it was old news yesterday, but still, when I read that and when I heard that, it just made me excited. I was tweeting up gifs of "Let's get nuts." I think one of my tweets was, "He wants to dance with the devil in the pale moonlight again." It's just, there's so many positive memories about bringing back Keaton that just it applies to the general audience. It applies to all of us fanboys. He may be the most beloved Batman of all time, outside of Adam West. Really.
It's arguable, yeah.
Yeah, everyone everything that 89 did for the character, and thank you, Mr. Yu, for getting that movie made. But it's just, again, we knew about it. If you've been paying attention to real news sources and Batman on Film, you knew this was happening. This isn't new, but it's still just great to talk about, and it just gets me excited.
As I've said, as someone who loves Batman 89, and I like the nostalgia of Keaton coming back. That's one thing, which I thought would never happen, but we've known for half a year now that it's going to happen. But and Eric pointed out, and I thought about it as well, and I wanted to talk about it today, and I was going to maybe even write about it, is that it's clearly 2 different versions of Batman. It's Batman who is, like the aged, older version who can't do it anymore and is finding the successor. Eventually, I assume that if they go that route with the Batman Beyond riff or whatever, as opposed to this, Batman who's in his second year, and it's more of the Batman that's more, in the almost in the prime, going that direction, with the Batman and that franchise. So, and because someone brought up on the Facebook fan group was like, isn't that a little bit too much? And people confused. I said, well, there's just, for one thing, Batman is their number one. It's Warner Bros. Number one IP. I mean, let's just be clear. And if it's such a difference, you know, in the two versions of Batman, I don't think there's an issue. That's just me. What do you think? Is it Batman overload, or is there?
No, I don't think it's an overload at all, because
Yeah.
and I don't think you're going to confuse the GA anymore either. I mean, Avengers Endgame had how many different characters and how many different timelines, and that movie's beloved. You've got a Superman on the CW. You know, we're going to get we essentially have two Flashes right now at this point. Like, I know some of those things are very niche, but I don't think you're going to confuse these people. It doesn't matter. If the movie's good, they'll go see it and they won't care about anything else. You just have to make a quality product.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Batman is as you said, Bill, it's the number one IP, and it's a strong enough character that a lot of general audience will go see a movie just because it is Batman. So I don't think it's going to cause much of a difference. Obviously, the age difference between Robert Pattinson and Michael Keaton is well known too. So I think, you know, people can kind of figure it out on their own to say, okay, we have two different Batmans. They're two different characters and not the same at all, not connected at all. And at Fandom, when we got the breakdown of the multiverse, I remember they did it with Hamada, Jim Lee, and was it Greg Berlanti? I think it might have been those
so.
three.
Yeah.
And they kind of broke down where they were going there too. So not that everyone knows about Fandom or cared about it, but it's been out there now for about 5 months that this is the way they're headed. So
Yeah. So let's bring up the elephant in the room is of course Ben Affleck. I don't think he wants to be the elephant in the room. I don't think he really cares anymore, to be honest. But he's still there's a clamor for him to continue on. But I don't think you could do a Ben Affleck, even though he's in his 40s, an older Batman, he's still kind of in the prime Batman. You can't have two similar Batmans, whatever, at the same time in two different franchises with a Gordon and two Gordons, and the difference between Keaton and Pattinson works, but so this is, as Pete brought up, and as Affleck had said himself, he's found a cool way to segue out of the role. He walked away, and it was going to be kind of not a good way to go out, the way he went out with Justice League.
Yeah, he
the
wants
one
a
we
swan
got.
song.
Yeah, and he walked away from it and didn't think he would get a chance, and maybe he wouldn't have unless until they came up with this idea of the multiverse and the Flashpoint aspect in the Flash. So it gives him a chance. I'm glad it does. Personally, I championed Ben Affleck as Batman since the late '90s, when there was talk of rebooting with Frank Miller's Batman Year One. That's when he was up and coming, starting to become a blockbuster A-list actor. And then as he morphed into this writer-director, I like when Nolan was done, I was like, I would love for Ben Affleck to take over directing and do a direct Batman film. So I found no joy in what happened to Batfleck, the way it turned out. I didn't. And I'm glad that this is what it is. I'm glad he's getting a swan song that's going to take him out in his cool way that he wanted. So thoughts on that, boys?
I don't think there's one person on this panel who doesn't want Ben Affleck to be successful or hasn't championed him in some way. I mean, he's like you said, he's highly regarded as a director. I believe he turned down a Justice League movie. I believe he was the first director to be offered Man of Steel. He turned that down. So he's a Warner Brothers guy. They love his stuff. They love what he's capable of doing.
Sure.
So, and to get him in your big IP, it just makes sense. Did we all probably jump the gun on that? Yeah, we all probably did, but we were all just excited just because of the quality of writer, director, and actor that he is.
Yeah.
I'm happy that he gets to go out in a positive way. The Batman saga of his life did not end well. I mean, his life took a really bad turn there at one point, and Justice League took about 70 bad turns. So if this is a cool way for him to go out, I'm all for it. I think he's earned it. You know, like he kind of got redemption after Daredevil with Batman, and now he's going to get even more redemption with Batman as Batman. So good for BA, and I'm also happy that this kind of, I hope that the people in the back of the room who have the heads in the sand kind of hear what's going on. Like this is how it's going to go, and I just want them to actually pay attention. So
Sure. Eric?
Yeah, I kind of co-sign everything Pete said. I think it's a good thing he's getting to go out now on his terms, because as we all know, what we saw in Justice League is kind of there's no other way to say it. It was a half-ass performance. He kind of was, the earlier stuff you can tell is much different than the stuff that they kept and what they shot later. So I think it's just a good way for him to cleanse that experience. As Pete said, that time in his life was a very bad time for him. He was going through some personal issues. The alcoholism problem that he has was coming back, or he kind of fell off the wagon. So I think it's kind of good now that he can put that behind him as well with this exit. However they go about the exit in Flashpoint, I think it's good that for him as well, now he can say, okay, I'm completely finished with Batman, and he can move forward with his career. Because, like I said, he's done some good stuff in the past few years. So
Yeah, for sure.
Forgetting the name of the movie he just did.
The Way Back.
The Way Back.
Yeah.
That was excellent. So I'm looking forward to what he does going in the future, and with how they phase him out. I want to see how they do that.
I was going to go there. I mean, I would hope you guys' thoughts. I would like some kind of, let's see him as a heroic Bruce Wayne, a heroic Batman, with none of that other bullshit, the darkness that we saw in BVS.
You mean trench coats and guns?
Yeah, and just have him go out that way. I don't know how. I mean, he sacrifices himself for that world or whatever it is. I'm not a writer. I don't come up with this stuff, but I want something cool.
Well, I think you kind of hit on it there, though. Like, I think when you involve the Flash, and I say this all the time, Barry Allen is arguably the greatest hero in the history of the DC universe. The Flash has sacrificed himself, whichever Flash you want to talk about, numerous times to save the multiverse. So when you involve that aspect in that history of the character, I mean, you could see that Affleck does something, just basically, I guess, sacrifice himself. He dies in the line of duty, and then Barry Allen goes back in time to try to fix things. And as Barry Allen always does, he screws with the timeline, and he ends up in the Burtonverse. So anything. Muschietti can get very creative with this, and it'll be exciting. I mean, I always say this: speculation is the best part of all this stuff. Just not necessarily writing the movie in my head, but just like having fun with ideas and bouncing things off of other fans who know source material, have been reading books longer than I have. So it could get very creative when you involve the elements that the Flash brings to the table.
Yeah, I don't know if I want it. I don't know what I want it to be. I just know I want it to be original. Like, I don't want it to, the easy way is he dies in some fashion, right? Like, he sacrifices himself in some fashion, in some kind of death. I kind of hope if it is that, then I hope it's something creative and new the way they do it. If it's not that, if it's just kind of a way he kind of rides off into the sunset and disappears, I'd be fine with that too. I just want it to be original. That's really the only thing I want from this.
All right, one last discussion here on Affleck. Would you be opposed if he did a miniseries on HBO Max at some point in the future, based on what was going to be his version of the Batman?
Oh no, bring it on! Like,
yeah.
You're asking the wrong guy here. Like, well, Batman.
Okay, let me frame it this way. Yeah, we'd want it because it's more Batman. Is it a good idea if you're doing the Keaton thing and you got the Batman Pattinson franchise going? Would that be Batman overkill to have three things going on, even though it'd be just a TV streaming HBO Max miniseries?
As long as he wants to do it, as long as he has the passion to do it, I don't see the problem. That sector of fandom is very loud, and they would appreciate it, and I would watch it too. I love Ben Affleck's Batman. I don't think it's Batman overkill. I mean, we had Gotham going on, I believe, with the trilogy. So it's, we had Smallville going on with Superman Returns. I think it's fine. I don't think so. I mean, people will watch what they want to watch, and it just gives them more options.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Pete. I'd love to see if he's into it and he wants to do it, and he has a hand in creating it, which is, I think, a big part of it. I would love to see what he wants to do. The only caveat I have is that if they're doing that Gotham Central PD show, you have them both on HBO Max at the same time. That could be a little confusing maybe to people. That's the only thing I would say, depending where they are with that. But I would love, just as a fan of that particular Batman, I would love to see
and they're
what he does going forward.
I'm with you. I would not be opposed to it. My caveat, it would be I want this to be a Ben Affleck joint 100%. And if it's a different tone, a different vibe, different aesthetic, even from BVS, Justice League, ZS, JL, that's fine with me as well. I'm with you on the Gotham Police Force, Gotham Central.
I think they have
the
to
Batman
pick one.
spinoff. Yeah,
I'll say that. Pick one and go with it.
Yeah.
And then if this Gotham Central show only lasts a season or two, and you want more Batman stuff, if Affleck somehow finds his passion again for the role in, I don't know, 4 years, and he has an idea, like, so be it, do it. But
sure.
I wouldn't be opposed.
I think they want, what they're looking at is, I think there's some more the Batman verse spinoffs that could possibly come to HBO Max.
They've mentioned Catwoman a few times.
Catwoman.
Yeah, it's been brought up.
I've heard one about a certain hospital. That's a possibility.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
I'm sure they're kicking around other ideas.
If they bring back Leslie Tompkins in like an ER setting, I'd be so happy because whatever Gotham did was always wrong. Oh my God, that's.
I was gonna say Pete was not happy with her.
Oh my God, Lee, they called her. I was just outside of Bullock and the Riddler. I felt like everything was just putrid.
We can't escape this, whether we're straight out of Gotham or here. We always get some Gotham.
It's like how do you get under Peter's skin? Let's mention MCU Spider-Man or Gotham.
Yeah.
Okay, I cannot disagree with that either. So let's. Speaking of that, real quick, just because you brought up Spider-Man, I am kind of intrigued with the idea of seeing Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield pop up in this Spider-Man 3. I haven't been a big fan of. I wasn't a big fan of. Far From Home.
Oh, I love it when people agree with me.
Homecoming was okay, but I mean, I don't want to get off on a MCU Spider-Man kick, but I'm kind of like, give me the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man in New York doing his thing, and I don't need him being a protege of Tony Stark with these fancy glasses that bring about all sorts of extra abilities. Anyway, we don't have to go down that rabbit hole.
We talk about this so much on Straight Outta Gotham. Still,
I like it when I have reinforcements.
Yes.
Yeah. So all right. So finish up here, Pete. I'm gonna let you, because you brought it up before we started recording. I'll let you address Mr. Snyder's recent video interview, which is like super new, right? Like yesterday, day before?
Yeah, it happened yesterday. Snyder was on the comic book debate show with the Faruqi brothers, and they just, I forget which one it was. I think it was Umer. He asked Zach a question, and it kind of went to, what is the future? What do you have up your sleeve? What are your ideas? And Snyder just kind of said, he's like, I'm happy the fans are passionate and that they're fighting for me, but I'm busy. I got other movies. I got other things planned. I don't see myself going forward with DC Films. They have an idea. They have an objective. They've kind of, my time has passed, and they've kind of gone a different direction. And I thought that was important that he said that. I thought it was important where he said that, because that is, comic debate is where, that group of fandom gets their information from. That's their news source. So I think it's important that they heard that on that show from those guys. And I just we've been saying that for a while. I know there's a not a lot of people like hearing that news from us, but I feel like most of the time we've been saying that, and they've kind of not been listening to us, which is fine. But it is what it is.
Okay, Eric, any commentary on that?
No, I agree with Pete. I'm glad he put it out there. It's from his mouth this time, so you can. There should be less speculation. Let me put it that way about what the future with Zack Snyder and Justice League or DC holds. I know he said he was pretty adamant. Like he's like, "Oh, I'm done." I think if they gave him some money to do something, he might do it. But I'm just glad it came from him directly. So now, you don't have that speculation on what Zack Snyder's doing or where they're going after Zack Snyder's Justice League comes out. So.
All right. That's a good summary. I will not, well, I am going to comment. All I'm going to say is that I don't hate Zack Snyder. In fact, I'm one of the big defenders of Man of Steel, which I believe Eric and Pete, didn't he direct that movie?
Yes, he did.
Okay. There's this movie called 300. Didn't he do that one?
He did.
He did.
Okay. Didn't he do a zombie movie that was really awesome that I liked?
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
And he's doing a show now.
Okay. And didn't he did Watchmen that I liked that too.
Mhm.
In fact, I even was controversial when I said kind of like the ending to the movie better than the graphic novel,
I agree with you on that.
So it's never been about Mr. Snyder. It's never been about a lot of the fans who support that vision of DC Comics on film. It's been about extremely bad online quote unquote fan behavior, the likes of which I've never seen, witnessed. I mean, going on 20, what am I on now? 23 years, going on 23 years of Batman on film. Worst I've ever seen was over that. And it was, I found a lot of it irrehensible. And sometimes, I'll be honest, sometimes it's hard not to let that affect your feelings towards something when you have this other thing going on, and especially when you're just trying to tell the truth. Here's what's happening, here's the deal, so that's my commentary. I am happy for all those people who wanted to see this version of Justice League. Knock yourself out, enjoy it. You're going to get how many episodes are we getting? Four,
I think.
4 1-hour episodes.
Okay, so enjoy it. Batman on Film will cover it. In fact, I talked to Ryan Haas. I don't know if you guys know. I probably won't join in, but we're going to have podcasts to review each episode. So we will cover it. We'll have guys probably do written reviews as well. And hopefully after this, we can move ahead, move past, move forward, and be some kind of
The Batman is coming.
more coming together of Batman fandom. That's my hope altogether. And I'm looking forward to seeing what Mr. Snyder does next. I know he's got the zombie thing coming up on Netflix, and I hope he does something on the big screen. It's awesome. I do, because I've liked most of his movies. I can't really think of one. I wasn't a big fan of Sucker Punch, but I never saw the Owl movie. But the other stuff I've enjoyed. So I mean, except for BBS. That was it. I just don't like it.
I like his movies that I've seen, including
Yeah.
BBS. So,
Except his highest profile one. Build it like the highest profile.
Yeah,
one he did.
yeah. And I was excited for that movie. Go back and look at.
I think we all were.
Yeah.
I think that's for, at least for me, and I can speak to this.
Yeah.
The biggest reason I have problems and I didn't like BVS was because of my expectations for it.
Yeah.
Like they were super high. And then, like, even after the first time I saw it, you try and find things about it that you like because you want to like it so much. And still, though, to this day, the things I liked when I first saw it, I still like now. So I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, it definitely was my expectations of that film that impacted my reaction to it.
That can happen. I was disappointed. It bummed me out because I wanted to love that movie. I did. I really did. So, all right. So we're preaching move on after all this. Let's us move on and plug some stuff. Eric, what you got to plug, my friend?
Well, as we've been talking about, guys, check out Straight Outta Gotham. You can follow us on Twitter at straight_o_g. You can find us, the podcast, everywhere you listen to podcasts. We're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Google Podcasts. Wherever you find us, just search for us and subscribe. You can hear both Pete and I there. You can follow me directly on Twitter at finally33. It's spelled finale 33. We will be recording our next episode tomorrow, I believe. So look forward to that.
Pete.
You can follow me on social media, Twitter, Instagram, and Zack Snyder's favorite Vero at Pete Illustrated. Make sure you follow our Straight Outta Gotham fan page on Facebook, as well as our Straight Outta Gotham Facebook group. And if you can follow us on Instagram as well as straight_O_G. And do not forget that we have a monthly contest every month where if you take the time to rate and review our show on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, and we read your review on air, we will send you a Straight Outta Gotham prize pack. I believe that's it. That's all I got. Oh, and check out my reviews of Detective Comics on Batman on Film. DC Future State starts today, Tuesday. So we have new Batman and the next Batman and Dark Detective, which are the main titles for Batman.
Yes.
And it's, a few years in the future. Things are different. Things have changed. The status quo is upside down. So make sure you check out DC Future State. It's the next big thing.
Yeah. Future State, the next Batman is up already on Batman on Film. Ryan Lauer reviewed that. And you've got Dark Detective next week, right?
Yes.
Even though
yes, I believe so.
You read it yet?
I have, and
okay.
I'll wait. You can wait. I'm not going to spoil
yeah,
it.
don't
Now
spoil it. Yeah.
You guys got to come back. I need those clicks.
I got you. Okay. What? Okay, Eric, I got to ask you, what's your level of being bummed out to lose the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes?
If you had asked me when it happened originally, I'd be in a lot worse shape. It's the Jets though. They can't even lose right. Like they can't even do that correctly so we could get this generational quarterback.
What are y'all, 3?
Or second?
Second. All right. So
wait until draft day though, because like stranger things have happened on draft day.
Yeah.
You do have the second pick, so it's not.
I'm one of those. I am not a tanker. I can't go there. And it's probably my coach's mind. I want to win. I want my team to win. I don't care.
So you're not from Philadelphia?
I am not. Oh, so I would be upset if I was the Giants. I'd really upset with the Eagles and their coach right now because they didn't play to win that game the other night. That's all.
I believe everyone's upset with the Eagles.
We're going to get into sports talk here in a second. So, but
well, we didn't talk about the weather today, so.
Cowboy. It was cold here, 32 when I woke up this morning. What's it like up there?
It's a little chilly. Yesterday was worse. Yesterday we had a little ice in the morning, so
okay.
At least it's better.
Y'all want to mention anything you've cooked lately that's been good?
No.
I cooked a roast beef on the barbecue for the first time. That came out pretty good. So
I'm waiting for nice weather. I got a charcoal grill. I'm dying to break that thing.
How did you do it, Eric? Did you smoke it or did you just
I'll tell you the whole story.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the reason why I did it on the barbecue. I was supposed to do it in the oven. But
okay.
I prepped it. I went to put it in the oven, and the oven wouldn't turn on.
Okay.
And I had my sister coming over with her kids, so I was like, I gotta cook it somehow. So I said, let me go outside. I cooked it on the grill, and the story even gets better from here because I had it in a Pyrex dish. Well, as I'm cooking it and I go out to look at it and basted it a little bit, the disc shattered.
Oh no!
So the Pyrex dish shattered, and I'm like, crap. I hope the meat's still okay. It was. Nothing got in. Thank God, nothing got into the meat. But I had to clean that up. So the whole experience kind of stunk. But I just did my basic. Normally, I just put it on salt, pepper, garlic powder, cut up some onions, put that over the top, and then I just usually it's 325 or 350 for depending on 20 minutes per pound, right? So it's that. But with this, I just kind of had to do it by eye. I had to stay by the barbecue and make sure that. But it came out. It wasn't medium rare, which I like. It was probably more medium, which is fine because my sister and her kids, they don't like pink, a lot of pink in their meat. So
they're hockey pucks.
Well, no, not with that. Just with like roasts and steak. Okay. They don't like it like the way it's supposed to be made. That's how I always tell them.
So
did you use propane or charcoal?
It was propane. It's a propane grill. It's gas grill.
I got a new Weber grill, and I've been trying to figure it out. It's like 3 burners. It's natural gas, which is cool because when I built my house, I had to put in a natural gas outlet just for that purpose. Mm-hmm. And so it's it stays hooked up. But I was looking on YouTube. I'm sorry if you don't like food talk on Batman on Film. I don't apologize, but you can shut it down now. You know, follow me on Twitter at Batman on Film. But I'm gonna finish telling the story anyway. So I look on YouTube of how to, and I come across how to smoke on a gas grill. So I've got me one. I had one already. I had a little one of those little metal smoke boxes, and so you put that on one side of the grill. Y'all probably already know this. It's you're probably thinking this guy's from Texas. He doesn't know this about this kind of shit with grills. But anyway, so and you use that burner and then leave one of the other burners off, and I did and got it to about, I don't know, probably around 350 or so, maybe 275, and I did a boudin stuffed meatloaf in a pan, and I put the pan on the side the burner wasn't on, and let it cook. Let me tell you, that thing was good. So anyway, that'll do it for Food Talk with the Batman on Film boys for in this edition of the Batman on Film social network. Again, I'm Bill Jeremy. Follow me on Twitter at Batman on Film, and we'll catch you next time. Yeah, we're authoritative. We're authoritative. We're definitive. We're the dadgum original too.
Dadgum original.
Dadgum original. Talk to y'all later. Bye. Thanks for watching.